Guys, I saw this really great question on Facebook the other day about ideomotor responses, about establishing yes and no signals, and why with some people, why doesn't it work? Or, what do I do when it doesn't work? Well, I wanted to answer it in this video, so I'm going to keep it as short as possible. And the first question that I'd like to answer is the why. It could be any reason why. Why isn't really useful? Because it's not going to help us troubleshoot in the moment because there's no way to really know. The client might not even know. The next thought about the yes and no ideomotor responses with the fingers is they can be great when they emerge spontaneously. However, if you train a client in it, and especially I've seen some hypnotists direct it very specifically, like twitch this finger for yes and this finger for no. If you do something like that, you run the risk of conscious interference. You run the risk of the conscious mind either trying to mimic unconscious response or just straight up giving you a very conscious yes. Because the client doesn't understand at some level what's being asked, or there is some sort of conscious-unconscious dissociation happening. So, with the why, let it go. And I'd even say with the ideomotor responses to not establish a yes and a no by specifically telling the client what to do. Instead, what you can do is if you have catalepsy and arm levitation, you can ask the unconscious mind to give a yes signal, and you can even indirectly suggest it by touching their hand. And then wait. You might get a twitch in a finger, but you might also get a twitch in a hand. Could be even more subtle than that. You might get some other movement. Then do the same for the no and the I don't know, or I'm not going to say. That's one way of handling it. So you keep it as indirect and as broad as possible, and then calibrate to whatever response the unconscious mind gives. This is going to cut out a lot of conscious interference because they're not going to necessarily register what's actually happening with their physiology. Now you can take this a step further and be like super covert. And that is that the yes and no responses, if you're going for that type of setup, like if you're doing a 6-step reframe, for example, those will appear in the body elsewhere, not just in a cataleptic hand or finger. If you calibrate to the entire person, when you establish the yes and no signals, it is going to appear in a cluster, not just a hand twitch, but a change in posture maybe, a change in breathing, perhaps a change in complexion. If their eyes are open, it could be a change in blink reflex. States exist in clusters. It's not just one behavior, it's a number of behaviors that manifest at the same time. And changes in blink reflex and color and twitching and breathing, these are all behaviors. So calibrate to the entire person because you will see the yes and no appear in the body, especially in this type of work because you're asking for a yes and no like about kind of really serious stuff, important stuff in the client's life. It's not just like, hey, do you like this new show? You're asking them questions that will naturally cause them to access emotional states. So you will see the yes and the no in the physiology. The most overt way you will see yes and no is calibrate to how the client looks when they're in the problem state. So yes, you have to get them to step a foot into the problem. This is the first step of the meta pattern. Take a mental image, a mental picture of how they look in the problem state. Then how do they look when they are feeling totally awesome and resourceful? Get that picture in your head. So then you have the no, which is how they look in the problem state, and then you have the yes, how they look in the resource state. So as you go through the entire change work process, whether or not you wanted to do a 6-step reframe or anything ideomotor, every step of the process, you're constantly getting a yes or a no. They're either in the resource or they're in the problem. Or they're in neutral, they're in the I don't know. So calibrate to the entire person, not just a finger twitch. That's only like a tiny fraction of the story. Your client's unconscious mind is communicating to you all the time. And it's communicating to you so much information if you just pay attention. It will be in what you're seeing in their physiology. If they're in an uptime trance, if you're having a conversation like a bulk of the work that I do, it's going to be in their tonality, it's going to be in their tempo, it's going to be in their inflection, it's going to be in their pauses, it's going to be in their hesitations. The information, the unconscious information, is always present It's just that it's not communicated through words. It's communicated through the body and how those words are expressed. So calibrate to the complete person, and then if you want to do the ideomotor, you still can. You keep it open-ended, maybe indirectly suggest the type of yes and no signals you're looking for. But you have the freedom. You don't have to. Or even if you set up the kind of direct, like twitch, unconscious mind, twitch this finger for yes. Thank you. And unconscious mind, twitch that finger for no. Well, it twitched a lot of fingers for no. Thank you very much. Even if you do that and then they start answering consciously, if you're calibrating to the rest of the person, you will get the unconscious answer regardless of what the conscious mind is saying and doing. So that's it for today. Hope you found this video interesting. Oh, that reminds me, before I forget, remember to sign up for our crash course in Ericksonian hypnotherapy, where you will be learning these skills and much more. And sign up really soon, because our special savings ends July 4th. Actually, it ends at 11:59 p.m. July 3rd. So sign up before then and receive a discounted price. There is a payment plan option available, and if you haven't gotten your HT Live ticket yet, until July 4th, you can get it at a discounted rate through us. It's a bundled package with our course and the HT Live ticket. You can either get it for a discounted rate and pay all at once, or we've broken it up over 3 payments. This ends July 4th. So click the link above if you're on Facebook, click the link below if you're on YouTube, or in any other direction wherever this may show up for you. So thanks so much, and I look forward to seeing you at HT Live. Bye.